Good evening, brewers. Tonight we have double tastings. These are from BIY Challenge number 3, the Czech Pale Lager, and BIY Challenge 4, the Irish Stout. I've actually brewed an Irish Extra Stout. I am sorry that I haven't posted these in time for when they were due. They were kegged and everything, but I've been sick last few days and I didn't want to miss any of the flavours or anything like that, so they were ready in time. And as you can see, this Czech Pale Lager is quite clear. Really happy with it. It lagered for 25 days after fermentation took 14 days, so for a total of 39 days. It's got a lovely malty, bready smell, and there's a very, very small amount of diacetyl left. Very easy to drink beer. Excellent. I love this new recipe. 80% Pilsner malt, 20% Munich. And it's just got a brilliant maltiness to it, and the SARS hops make it pop with the spiciness that it brings to the party. So in terms of the scoring, I'll get right to it because I don't want to keep you too long. My target gravities were all hit. So I had pre-boil was 1035, post-boil was 1041, and final gravity was 1010. All hit. My volumes, I was targeting 23.8 for pre-boil gravity. I got to 23, and 19 in the fermenter, and that's what I got, 19 in the fermenter. I was aiming for 4 hours, and I got 3 hours and 50 minutes. And grain to glass was 39 days. And this is a 4% alcohol beer. In terms of the aroma, I got malty with there's some herbs there, some spices. The appearance, you can see for yourself, there's a medium goldness there. It's not pale, it's not deep gold, and it's got a decent head. It's bright white head that this has got, and yeah, very clear. So I gave that a 3 out of 3. The flavour, it has a bready, malty flavour. There's a medium amount of hop spice to it, but you'd expect that with 80% Pilsner malt and 20% Munich, and a IBUs around 35. So I gave that a 15 out of 20. If I could make it any better, I might like a little bit less maltiness to it, and I might even try a different noble hop next time as well. In terms of the mouthfeel, there's medium carbonation, and it's a medium-bodied beer. And in terms of the impression, it's very smooth. It rolls straight off the tongue. Very easy to drink. Very refreshing. summertime, this would be perfect after you mow the lawn or out in the garden for a while, or having some friends over for a barbecue. So the total score for my Czech Pale Lager was 87 out of 100. And that was only because I hit all my targets. They were, yeah, spot on. Alright. Still probably a little bit cold, but I've had a couple of these. This was just a delicious stout. The new ingredient, the Simpsons Double Roasted Crystal, really did add another layer of complexity to this. So before I let it warm up a little bit longer, in terms of the targets, I'm not sure what happened. I must have got my grain crush perfect or something like that, because my pre-boil target was 1047. I got 1054. My post-boil target was 1055. I got 1061. And my final gravity, I was going for 1014, and I got 1015. But I'm still getting used to that London Ale 3 yeast and how far down it goes. In terms of the volumes, I was slightly under. I wanted 25.4, and I got 23.9. Pre-boil, and post-boil I was going for 20.5. I got 19. And the final volumes, I was able to salvage some by good decanting, and 18 litres went into my keg. So it was it's a 6.1% beer. I was targeting 3 hours 30 minutes, and I got 3 hours 40 minutes. But the grain to glass time was 17 days. So I lost quite a number of points with missing all my target gravities. Less the final one, I missed by 1 point. So that half was only 33 out of 50. But in terms of the beer, it smells like coffee and chocolate. That's the dominant flavours in this. There's a slight tartness like you get from a jam, which comes through in the flavour as well, which is one of, I put it down to the yeast. It's like a raspberry jam or a raspberry coulis, as chefs will call it. Yeah, so there's also a good earthy aroma from the East Kent Golding hops. It's, yeah, really homely, warm beer that you just want to drink. So I gave the aroma a 7 out of 10. The appearance, it's black, it has a tan head, so that's all its criteria is. So it's a 3 out of 3. Let's give her a taste. So good. It's really malty. There's a like I said, there's a raspberry jam flavour there, likely due to the yeast, I'm told, or so I've read. There's a lot of coffee, a lot of dark chocolate, a lot of burnt toast flavours there. There's some there's definitely some sultanas or raisins there, and that's the double roasted crystal coming through. There's also a small amount of earthy flavour there from the hops. Not a lot, really, really. You struggle to find them if you don't know what you're tasting for, I guess is the phrase. I'd say the bitterness is medium, but it's balanced because of the maltiness and a very clean finish. Your mouth resets after every mouthful. In terms of the mouthfeel, it's got a medium to full body. It's not a full-bodied beer, but it's slightly more body than the Czech lager. It's very creamy. Well, it's a silky beer, and that's I put that down to the oats, the flaked oats. There's no astringency whatsoever in it, and there's no alcohol warmth, which is sort of surprising considering it's 6.1%. Yeah. So the mouthfeel I gave a 5 out of 5, and the flavour I gave 17 out of 20. In terms of the impression, it's a great winter beer, which we've got in Australia at the moment. I know I'm wearing a singlet, but it's cold where I live comparatively to summertime. Yeah, but the if you match the smooth creaminess with the toasty flavours of this, I said it's as comforting as warm toast with butter, but without the butter flavour. If that makes sense. In terms of what I might do next time, I might add a little bit more crystal malt to give it a bit more malty sweetness, just to see what it's like. I'd probably up the bitterness as well with some hops, with some bittering hops, but I would just want to see how this recipe holds up with a little bit more crystal malt. So I'm halfway through the BIY challenge now, and my next beer that I'm going to brew is going to be an Australian amber ale. So what do I mean by Australian amber ale? It'll be all Australian ingredients, Australian malt, Australian hops, and I've recultured some yeast from some Cooper's Pale Ale bottles to make an Australian ale yeast. I've been told that the Coopers bottle condition their beers with a different yeast to what they brew their beers with. That's out of my hands. I can't change any of that to be able to get my hands on any closer specific Australian yeast. So that's I've got the yeast starter spinning away on my stir plate as we speak, and that'll get put into an Australian amber ale. And I'm using all Australian hops too, so it'll be on the American amber ale style, and I'll post that recipe in the next few days. Until we see each other again, check out the other recipes, and happy brewing. Cheers.